Okay, so we have the Django running, we have React app running, and then we have Fast API running, right? So all the services are running perfectly fine. Just to show you, so this was it. So we have the user management for the Django, Fast API for the Fast API service, and then the React frontend for the React. So we will be implementing the user registration, and then we will also do the authentication part in the Django. Right, so for that, let's go to our user management, and in that, let me close this one, and then let's go to the user management, and within user management, we'll go to the accounts, and within that, we'll go to the model. So the Django is model view controller architecture, right? So here we'll have the model to specify the structure of the database, or let's say the backend. View is more for the logic implementation, and then controller is more for to see, right? So first we'll make the changes in the model so that we can create the user details, and for that, so we have the Django's model user, abstract user, and then we have the models. So model is basically, it's always used to be there, right? So what these does, so this will import the class, or let's say the class of abstract user, which is a Django's authentication framework, right? And most of the fields are available with this abstract user class, because this is like a base class. So all the user fields like username, password, email ID, all these are already there. Maybe I can show you. Go to definition. So if you see, we have here the username validation, username, first name, last name, email, whether it's a staff or not, whether it's active or not, date joined, and so there are many fields within this abstract user class, right? And then we have the models, which is the model class, or let's say model module, which will help us to create, let's say, to design the database or the table, right? So let's call this first class. So most of the time we will be using class based code rather than the function based. So first one we have is this one. So this will be like, we are right now, we are just passing it because we don't want any other specific fields to be added, but maybe in the coming videos we might be needing to add more fields, right? So right now we are not doing, that's why we said it's a pass. Now let's go to our settings. Here we need to add a line of code. Let's say somewhere near to this one I will write. You can write it anywhere, but I just thought maybe write it over here. So the user, normally this will tell the Django to use this model instead of the user model, which is the default one, and this will be taken from the accounts, right? So let's save this, let's save models. What else do we have? Now let's create a serializer, because that will be very handy for us. So now what this serializer does, it basically converts the Django's complicated data types into Python's day-to-day data types, and that's where the things gets much faster, right? But one thing is missing over here is the REST framework library, I think, right? So we need to install that. I think we did that, if I'm not wrong, we did that. But why we are getting this error is because I'll show you the error. Now we are using the password validate password class as well. With this will make sure that we have all the security standards, like the the length of the password and the complexities and all. So we don't need to specifically mention how much the length should be and all. So if you have seen the websites, there should be a minimum number of characters. It should be a combination of special characters, numbers, and let's say numerical numbers or alphabet. So that kind of validation will be done over here, right? So okay, so the first one is a user serializer. So basically we are using this one. It's a user serializer, which will be using the model serializer. So user serializer is a subclass of this model serializer. So, and based on this specific model, it will create the fields and all. I will come on to that more specifically when we are about to write the logic and all, right? So this password is basically, so it's write only is true. So this will make sure that the password is, the entry can be done only during the registration process, and after that you cannot do that. So this will not be exposed during the API's response, right? So, and it's a required field validation, so we will be doing the validation part. So this is more like a registration process, the process, or let's say the field during the registration purpose, right? Okay, here we have to mention the meta, because meta is important. So basically we are mentioning that all these fields will be used for the serialization, right, to convert the data types. Now let's create this for the user creation part. So we have create, so we are creating the custom user. Basically the user will be passing the username, email ID, and then the password will be validated based on what we mentioned earlier over here, right? Okay, now let's go to the view part. So for that, I think we need to come here and then we'll use a REST framework. I don't know why this, but I think we need to add it in the register, application list of applications. I will show you in a couple of minutes, right? This will bring in more of the generic list of, let's say, views, which will provide us the base classes for common purposes or common patterns like creating, retrieving, updating, and deleting the fields, or let's say objects that we create. So object here, it means like the user information, right, or user information. So first let's make one. So this is a register view. So when the user is being created, so this is how we use it to for the post requests. You will get more clear picture when we are actually using it. So I'll not go very deep, but yeah, it's we are using the generic view. So like I said, generics, within generics we have a create API view, which will help us to create the registration process. So it is basically creating a custom user based on the query set, or yeah, custom user, and then it will pass on to the query set, right? Why is it not calling the custom user? Okay, now we need to create URLs. So we have django.urls.path, and then we are importing the views. So basically this view is being called upon over here, right? So we have created a register view. So this will be called over here. So what this URL pattern is basically, since we are creating it in the account, so when we are, we need to call the path for registration process. So this will be the path. So this will define the list of users or list of URL patterns. Now we go to the main URLs, because this is where the main path will be added. So basically we are adding the accounts API path. So this will be like this, include, I think we'll not wait, right? So when we approach this API accounts, and from there it will call on this register, right? Okay, so we have accounts app, and then within accounts app we have URLs. So this is how it calls. It took a lot of time for me to understand when I started developing this couple of years back, maybe probably like 2 or 3 years back. Okay, now we will be using the JWT authentication, which will come over here. Let's add this one as well. So REST framework default authentication class, JWT authentication, and then again in main URLs we need to add 2 more paths, right? We need to call this one for the authentication, or we need to give the reference, right? I know this is still pending, but okay, rest of the things, there are a couple of things that I need to do. Is basically I need to define apps here. So we have account, right? And then probably we also need to REST, if I'm not wrong, we need to install couple of more libraries. So this is done, and then we have model, custom user, serializers. It's very common to get such errors, which is okay. So we have class, views, we need to import the model as well, migrate this. Okay, let's migrate this Python. Okay, so should I do the migrate? Let's do the migrate as well. What does it say? So let me make migrations. Upload before dependency, initial on database. Okay, I did restart the service, so I need to make sure the server is running. Let's try now. Let me try to migrate it again. Let me comment this one, make migration. Okay, done. I think now I should uncomment and then uncomment. Okay, so this is saved and the migration is also done. So let's try to run this and then see if things are working. So where is my web browser? So the account, API accounts. Okay, so this is, right now it's just a REST frameworks page, but the registration can be done, right? So let's try to post it. So the posting is done, and then we should be able to see these information, right? Okay, so what had happened, earlier, why we took so much of time? The reason being, I tried to do the migration, but the server, or let's say the local server, was not running, and that messed up things. So that was the reason what I did. I commented these two because this was already migrated. I commented this admin, and then the same was done in the URLs as well, because see, at the end everything is connected with each other. So if you mess up, it's a big mess. Apart from that, what we also did, just to be, just to make you aware, this REST framework simple JWT was not installed, or let's say this library was not installed, so that was also be supposed to be installed, right? But apart from that, I think this was a good video. So the registration process is done, and then like I mentioned, it's through the API. How come we are doing the API? It's with the help of serializer. So what the serializers do, serializers used to convert, or let's say, convert the data types from, let's say, the Django's data types to Python's data type, which helps us to make things faster. Now, I know I did not go through detailedly line by line. The reason being, we will be using more often all these features, and then I thought, in the beginning itself, if I try to make you understand everything, then it will go just above your head. But rather than, we'll go step by step, and then we'll see how it implemented. So if you have seen username, email, password, so this was serialized based on, see, username, email, password. So this is how it came. But anyways, I'm sure in the coming videos you will understand more, and will learn more things. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe, and take care.